Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have an interesting new to me anyway, it's new to me, mould here. It's a tiered stackable tray, a storage tray with two lids. And I saw this and I thought that looks really interesting. I haven't seen that on any other website. Guess where I found it? Yeah, you guessed right, Temu. Yeah, I'm sorry, I bought something else from Temu. But I love moulds that have a practical purpose to them, and this obviously is a storage tray with a lid, so how more practical? That's awesome. So I definitely had to try it. And I said a lid, but actually there is two lids here. One of them looks like a kind of mountain range. I think that's what they were going for. That's what it looks like. It didn't interest me that much, so much as the flat lid, would you believe it or not? And I'll explain why at the end with a demo of what I've made. So onward to the actual mould making. I'm using the last of my Jdiction resin in this one, and in the other tiers that I make I'm using a new load of resin, and that's by Let's Resin. So you'll see them both listed in the description below. So for everything that I've made in this video, it will all be in the description below. So be sure to check that out, especially if you want the link to this new mould. So I've mixed up my 2-part epoxy resin and I've added some black resin dye, again from Temu. And in this clear resin, I'm adding these gilding flakes by Cosmic Shimmer. I bought these from The Range, which is a craft store here in the UK. I will try to find them online so that you have a link to them, but please be aware I didn't buy them online, I bought them from a shop. I love Cosmic Shimmer gilding flakes. They always look so vibrant and lovely. I think most of you know by now I love my gold and black combo. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this first tier. I'm going to have the gold alcohol ink mixed with the black resin and the gilding flakes added in that clear resin as well. As for amounts, I really just wing it. I really do. You might find that you like to be more precise, but I kind of like the random and spontaneity of just bleh, adding things when I'm halfway through the project. If you enjoy watching resin being poured, I'm going to leave you to watch this process with a little bit of music, and voiceover me will be right back. Okay, the next day I've got both of them cured, so it's time to demould. So I did debate with myself whether or not to show you each demoulding individually or show you all of the tiers that I do at the end. But I thought I'll film them anyway, and then if I decide to put them in, I can show you guys each demoulding. So apparently I have decided to show you each individual demould. Okay, so this one came out all right. Do you see what I mean about it looks kind of mountainous, like mountain type shapes? I think that's got quite potential to do that up, to detail it up, especially with something like Jesmonite, which you can paint easier. Okay, so the main mould, it's quite hefty. It's got a nice bit of weight to it, but then it did take, what was it? Just under 300 ml of resin. I want to say 250. But the first time I did this, I undermixed, and then I had to add some more, so I wasn't completely sure. But my future tiers took me just under 300 ml So I'm going to say 250, 260 maybe. And hey, I really like that. Those gold flakes have really dispersed around the entire mould, which is interesting because I've seen some different results when people use this technique where they use pigment resin in the first and then they use a load of clear resin with gilding flakes. And the gilding flakes don't usually sink like they have done in mine, which is interesting. But then I did pour on a load of pigmented resin on top, so that does push them down. Yeah, I've got some really nice flowing gold swirls in that. I really like that. And the shape of this mould is really nice. It's a really, really nice shape. And it has a bit of depth to it. Usually your storage trays are quite shallow. I wouldn't call this one deep, but it's definitely not shallow. You can also see where the supports in the mould themselves have kind of imprinted in the resin as it was curing. So it was quite heavy, and obviously it's come out in the mould. It's very slight, but it's there. It's interesting. Of course, I've got to try see if the lid fits the mould. It does, but I think there was slight warping in the lid because it doesn't fit 100%. Whether that was user error or there is a slight warping of the mould itself, I'm not quite sure without doing another one, and I don't want to waste the resin at the minute, so that experiment is on hold until I have time. So let's get on with the second tier. I know for a fact that I wanted to do at least 3 tiers. 3 is the magic number. And I wanted to do 3 different techniques, so 1 each. And this one is going to be a different technique for the marbling effect, and this was suggested to me on my tray mould a week back, 2 weeks back, by Nicole Joslin. So thank you very much, Nicole. I'm going to try your technique for this marbling effect. I'll see how well I can do it. But I do realise that one disadvantage might have been that I had an alcohol ink bottle it just leaked. As soon as you turned it upside down, it was everywhere. So I didn't have much application control over it. So before I could even draw a line, there was dots all over my mould before I knew it. So I tried to make them into more of a flowy line, but I don't know if I really succeeded. And I'm going to once again leave you with some music while this process carries on. Talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, it's the next day. It's time to demold tier number 2. You can see I have the lid there in the background, but I don't demold it because it's unfinished. I'm not quite sure why I brought it up with me to demold. Okay, so this one, I wasn't as happy with this one as I was the previous one. And I think it's because the alcohol ink that I dropped on the bottom of that tray didn't really disperse how I wanted it to. It just left those lines, and they're very defined. I don't quite like that. They just didn't merge. They just couldn't quite merge with the resin properly. So I don't mind how it came out on the sides though. The sides look much better than the inside. I do wish that the alcohol ink hadn't left such defined lines, but some of them look okay. Definitely an interesting effect. I would like to redo the bottom of it, but I can't obviously redo this one. But if I give it another try, hopefully it would come out better, because I know that alcohol bottle just drips as soon as you tilt it. It's out. It's out and away. It makes its own mind. Thank you very much for your suggestion on this technique, Nicole. I'm sorry it didn't come out perfect, but I'm pretty sure this was user error this time. Okay, so for my third and final tier, I went with something different to the other two. A technique, is it called a dirty pour? Is this what it's called? Please let me know in the comments, because my memory, the amount of videos I've watched as well, my memory is just absolutely not very good. I need to write things down. So for this tier, what I'm going to be doing is black, white and gold. And the gold is going to be very sparsely used. I'm not going to use much gold. So I want the white and the black mainly. The white is a nice complement, and then the gold will be the accent. Also, just to note, this tier, this mould, and the last one were used with Let's Resin. So the first one was Jdiction Resin, I can't speak. And then the second and this one, the third one, are Let's Resin. So I've got my pot of black resin. I'm pouring white, and then I pour gold, and then I pour white and black and white, and I alternate that way. I'm pretty sure that is the dirty pour, isn't it? That's what's called a dirty pour. So believe it or not, I haven't actually done this before. Been planning to, but I never have. And I love watching people's results as well, because they always turn out stunning. So I'm very glad I did this, and you'll see why later on. So cue the music, I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, it's time to demold the third... Oh, wait, sorry, I did it off camera. Here it is. Now, I love how this one turned out. I love it. I am going to be doing more of that technique in the future. In fact, I can't wait to do it again. Just look at that swirl. That looks so gorgeous. Oh, really am pleased with this outcome, with this tier. This is my favourite tier. I'm sorry other tiers, but this one is my favourite. And the white pigment just blended in so well. I've got that really lovely marbling effect. I am so pleased with this. I might have to do 2 other tiers now in this exact technique just to make them match. What do you guys think? Do you like this? I'm really glad I didn't use too much gold. Obviously, we've got that lovely swirl in the centre, but on the outside, there's only hints of it, and I really like that. That's awesome. And that effect on the bottom, that looks really cool. I love that. I'm sorry, I keep saying I love that, but I really do. And I love this one. This tier is my favourite. It's my favourite.
Must be hard with your sense of direction, never being able to find your way to a decent pickup line.
Okay, time to demold the lid. I did it again. I demolded them off screen. I was too impatient. I'm sorry. But hey, I got that marbling effect by dripping it on top of the lid, just how I wanted the past tier to come out, the previous tier, which it didn't do. But this one looks awesome. I'm so pleased with this lid. And I was going to tell you why I much preferred the flat lid than the mountain-like one. And it's kind of ironic now because it's come out so well. I don't want to do what I was originally going to do with it. So the reason I wanted the flat lid was I wanted to attach other resin moulds I've made as a handle. So maybe a skull on the top of it, I could super glue or glue on top and use that as a handle to just pop the lid off. But I really don't want to ruin that lid now. I just love the way that alcohol ink looks almost like sand. It almost looks like it's been blown by sand. It looks awesome. I really love that. Okay, so this is the 3 molds the 3 tiers together, and the second lid, which didn't really fit as well as that flat lid. So either that was my fault and I didn't put it down flat enough, and I've warped the mold somehow, or the mold itself is actually askew, a bit off. I don't know yet. But I'm just trying each mould in each tier tray just to see how they fit. And the flat one obviously fits in them all pretty perfectly, but that mountaintop one doesn't. So the mountaintop the lid is the issue, not the trays for me. It's not that easy to grip either. If you really jam it in your tray, it's hard to get out. You really have to kind of just prise it out. Okay, so the main question, can we stack them? They are advertised as a stackable mould. So, and yes, they fit into each other really well. I am pleasantly surprised. I find this such a unique little mould. I really like it. It's a great practical storage mould, and you can make it however you want. You can make your own storage. So to me, that is a game changer because I'm always after storage. I need things to hold all the many little hearts I make and all the little resin bits and just little bits of equipment and things like that. So this is perfect. I will be making so many more, depending if I have the resin for it, because, 250 mil, just under 300, each tier. So I went digging in one of my many storage boxes that I have anyway, and I found these little handles. I bought them from, I think it was Wish. I'm pretty sure this time it was Wish. 2 years ago maybe. These little handles. Aren't they cute? I mean, they would have been perfect to put on on the flat lid. And I still might. I might draw up the courage to drill into that lid. Assuming the screws aren't too long and they don't go through the bottom of it, which might be the issue actually. So I think I'm going to wrap the video up here, otherwise I could babble on for a bit longer. So tell me what you think. Do you like this mould, this stackable mould? I, for one, love it. I will be making my own storage boxes. I might even try to go for my own height in storage boxes because I can. So if you've made it all the way through this video, thank you so much. Please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Comment if you want, please. It helps out channels like you wouldn't believe. And maybe subscribe if you would like to see more. Maybe I might do some more like this and I'll actually have the courage to stick a handle on that flat lid. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great morning, noon, evening, or night, wherever you are. I'll see you in the next one.